Say, man, what's going on, man? I want to welcome y'all to a nightly edition of the War Zone. I don't have the music tonight because I'm actually in the studio, um, actually training for the new radio show, which starts next Monday on Street 100, The Heat, the War Zone morning show with my man Rodney Bigham. So I am actually in the studio right now, training. So that's the reason for not having the music. Demetri and Donovan will be on in a second because of the time change. It kind of threw us off. But today we just gonna have that conversation. I know in Texas tomorrow it crank up. You got early voting going on. You got to get out to the polls, uh, and you got to cast your vote and do what you need to do. Tony G says voting does nothing. Voting does not do anything. It's a waste of time. That's really not true. If you got the right people running with the right platform, voting does what it's supposed to do. But our problem is we keep picking the wrong people. Yeah, we got the right people running. We got the right people running in a lot of races, but because they're not your frat brother, your soror, your deacon, or whoever, your gambling partner, then you don't vote for them. You vote for the name. You vote for the people who ain't did nothing. So, at the end of the day, there are good people running in several races. So, you gotta ask yourself, you know, who should I vote for? Have you done the research? Have you done the research on your candidates? That's the question. Have you? We've been going at it for months. You've had, especially with the war zone. So since March, May, July, April, May, June, July, August, September, for 6 months. For 6 months, we've been telling you to research your candidates. If you have not researched your candidates and you go in that voting booth, you're gonna get what you paid for. That's all it boils down to. You're gonna get what you paid for. You can listen to all these lies, and they done passed out masks. See, they ain't have to do no turkeys right now because they've been passing out masks and PPE. That's been their way of campaigning. You see what I'm saying? So if you fall for that and you've not done your research, you are going to get what you paid for. And that's what it is. The enemy is not always the person on the other side of the political line. The enemy, a lot of days, is the person that represents you. All you have to do is look at your community, look at where you are, look at where your community is, look at the crime in your community, look at the way your schools are operating. Are they failing? Are they passing? You feel what I'm saying? Look at the condition of your community. Do you have a food desert? Are your streets torn up? If it's been like that for the last 4 years, then why in the hell would you vote for? I'm all the way down the ballot now. I ain't talking about Trump and Biden. I'm talking about down this ballot with the people that affect you on a daily basis. If you know you're going to court and you sit in a courtroom with a racist judge, have you done your research? Have you done your research? If you're in civil court, you're dealing with child support issues. Have you done your research? I'm reading some. I get what you're saying, Tony. It's your vote, your choice. If you don't want to cast your vote, don't cast it. And what I tell people, regardless of how you vote, if you don't cast your vote, that is your choice. That is your choice if you don't cast your vote. What's going on, lady? Can you
Everything's
hear me?
yes. Sorry about my tardiness. I got the time zones messed up and all that, but
It's
I
all
see
right. What I was talking about is it's election time. Judgment Day is slowly creeping upon us in the state of Texas. We start early voting tomorrow. I've reminded the people that for the last 6 months, we've educated you, we've given you information, we've told you how to research your people, but now you have to go into the voting booth and make those decisions. And if you go into that booth and you've not done your homework, you're going to get what you pay for. So if you go in there and you vote for your soror, your frat brother, your deacon, your crooked pastor that ain't did nothing for you the last 4 years, then don't cry about the next vote, because that's what it is. You see what I'm saying? That's what it is. What you got to say about it?
No, absolutely. I mean, we're about 22 days until election day, November 3rd. And, I guess a lot of people are still undecided as to who they're going to vote for. Me personally, I'm nonpartisan. I'm not what you call an undecided voter. I have decided that I'm going to hold my vote until I can see a candidate that is going to come somewhat close to what I want. But I agree with you. I think, people continue to go into the booths voting for the same old people, and they're not getting results. I mean, they really have nobody to blame but themselves. As I said yesterday, if you're one of those people that vote, Black people vote for people because they are Black, then you say, okay, great, they're Black. Now step outside, of your door and look to the right and to the left of your neighborhood and say, okay, did my neighborhood improve? Did my situation improve due to voting this person in for, sometimes 30 or 40 years? And if the answer is no, you need to go ahead and look to somebody else. Bring in some new people. And this is another thing I think is an issue. And I'm not trying to get into ageism or anything like that, but we have a lot of people who have sat on those seats so long that they're in their 70s and 80s, and they're trying to apply the same old things that they were using in the 80s and the 70s in 2020. And, we just need, in my opinion, like I said, I'm not trying to, discriminate against age, but we need some new, fresh blood in the mix. People with newer ideas, maybe people who are up on technology and know how to disseminate a message more quickly. But, just bringing some new ways of thinking. Not to say that is something wrong with the people who are doing it now. We just need to move the ball forward, and that's with new ideas.
Well, Tony G seems to think that is not about having a choice. It's about the people coming together and realizing the truth that voting won't change anything. Not participating in the system will. It'll make a drastic change. Example, when Rosa Parks did what she did, people boycotted the bus system, and change was ushered in, not because of politicians, but because the people refused to participate. So what I would tell anybody, and don't take this the wrong way, brother, while you're trying to accomplish that goal, the voting process is still there. What we got to do is get some people that can get in there that won't cut them side deals with them people behind the scenes. You feel what I'm saying? Everything that and I'm gonna be straight up today. I'm not gonna fight around with it. I'm not gonna joke about this, because I need you to understand me. Everybody knows how to win the revolution, but ain't nobody doing jack shit. Everybody can tell us how to fix us, but ain't nobody doing jack shit. And that's the only way I can phrase it. If it was that easy, then why haven't we done it? You want to know why we've not done it? Because it's not going to happen that way. It's just not going to happen that way. So do we have a plan B?
Well,
our biggest problem is we're so reactionary that we never come in with multiple plans. We only come in with one damn plan. That's what we're going to stick to, and we'll ride that plan for 40 years. And in 40 years, I'll be in the ground. Demetri?
Yeah, so just to address your last question, why haven't we done anything if we know what to do? If it's so easy, it's because we've gotten comfortable. We've gotten comfortable with, you got to remember, and I know you weren't there, I wasn't there either, but during the civil rights movement, our grandparents and parents, they really just wanted to, be amongst them being the oppressor white people. And so once they got those things, being able to live where they want, unsegregated, and drink and eat and all of that, a lot of them, and a lot of those people are still in office. And so they have those ideologies of like, what are you guys complaining for? We got civil rights. What else do you want? But they forget that we were born into civil rights. And so, with the civil rights, so we don't know what it's like to not be able to move about freely. But, they forgot to ask for things and demanded things like reparations and all that. But we've gotten comfortable with just what we're doing right now. We've gotten comfortable in the oppression. I use the analogy a lot. Putting a frog in a pot of water. The water is cold at first, and the frog is like doing backstrokes. Yeah, it feels good. And then you turn the water up a little bit. The frog is like, okay, well, it's getting warm, but I'm good. It's not too bad. You turn it up some more, and it's like, whoo, it's hot. And then eventually, when the fire's turned up so high, the frog ends up boiling to death. And that is us as Black people. We are so comfortable to where we don't realize we are actually in a pot of boiling water, and eventually we are going to boil to death. And the side deals, I don't have a problem with politicians taking side deals because I think they all do, but I have a problem with them taking side deals and screwing the people over. Like if you're going to grease your pockets and all of that and get your house note paid on the side, great. But make sure that we are taken care of too. At least make sure when we are, like I live in California, and most of us, because the roads are so bad, especially where I live, we have to get new tires all the time, just shocks and stuff. So if at least I can drive down the road and I don't have to maintain my car sooner than normal, then I'm whatever. You get the side deals. And then Channy says, just to clarify, does holding your vote mean don't vote? Well, it means, especially for me, I'm not going to continue to vote, especially for on the national level, the presidential level, because it does not do anything for us as Black people. It hasn't ever. Voting for a president has never done anything for us. And what we do is, and you guys have probably seen this now, you have family members. Gary, I've heard you talk about people getting you longtime friends, damn near cutting you off or arguing with you over politics. I mean, we are doing that to each other over two very old white dudes. Neither one of them are talking about helping Black people at all. And so that, what it means for me to hold my vote, yes. If it means for me not to vote, then yes. But of course, I'm going to vote on the state and local elections. But as far as that other stuff, now they need to give us something for it.
A lot of people want us to show them this and show them that, today, tomorrow, because it's on tomorrow in Texas. It's on. Ain't no running away from it. I'm going to kind of tell you what our coach told us when we showed up in Dallas to play Odessa Permian. Now, y'all know Odessa Permian, the Friday Night Light boys, the ones that we beat 37-0 in the state championship, and y'all don't know about it. But what he told us is before we got ready to practice, that one time in Dallas that we were going to practice, he stopped us. He said, there's nothing I can teach you today that I haven't taught you in 4 years. It's no practice. Tomorrow is the game. It ain't nothing we can tell you today that we ain't been telling you for 6 months. So if you ain't been listening, if you ain't did your homework, then that is on you. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't feel sorry whatever happened, because we sit here every night, we joke, we clown, we have different people come on and we make it entertaining. But at the same time, we give you the knowledge that you need to be able to do what you do. You feel what I'm saying? So you're so focused on Joe Biden that you didn't call none of your friends in the state of Kentucky. You didn't tell them nothing about Mitch O'Connell. That's the gangster. That's the one making sure that you don't get 1,200 every now and then. You feel what I'm saying? You're straight up gangster. I love a gangster. You feel what I'm saying? So it's not like you don't have the information. It's something about us that we don't want to apply the information. Now I'm gonna ask a serious question, Demetri. Maybe you could answer it for me. I know I got some good white folk watching this, so I want to ask this question, but I don't want you to take it the wrong way. Would you, Mr. White Man, rich, poor, indifferent, put your faith in the hands of a Black man? So here's my let me flip it. What in the hell make y'all think that I'm gonna put my faith in the hands of them two old white motherfuckers that don't know what the hell they talking about? I clearly know what I need to do. I clearly know what buttons I need to push when I go into that voting booth. I don't need nobody to tell me, this is what you need to do to take care of your family. Because regardless of who I vote for presidential, And right now, neither one of them is getting a vote for me. I'm not impressed. And I normally vote early. So tomorrow I'll probably get my voting process over with. And if I get it over with, it looks like it's going to be green on the presidential side. Because everything that I would want is coming from the Green Party. And I don't give a damn what you say when you say, well, they ain't got a shot in hell of winning. You said Trump didn't last time either. When you're in the race, you got a shot, man. You got a shot, man. I don't care who you are. And I would rather run with Howie and my girl and give my vote to somebody that even if they lose, if they would have won, I don't have to worry about reparations. I don't have to worry about qualified immunity. But you gonna lay up here and tell me you ain't got enough knowledge in the last 6 months to go in there and make an informed decision? Negro, please.
Yeah, so absolutely. As far as trust, it's a trust. Us trusting people. Hell, we'll trust white people before we trust our own people, and that is part of the problem. But the other part of it too is we trust our people too much, especially with some of these elected leaders. We just go on as face value that they're black. I'm gonna vote for the black person, but as we said before, there's a lot of black people been in office 20, 30, 40 years, and they haven't busted a grape for their own people. And Dr. Amos Wilson, he says, a lot of times we focus on the head figure, so Trump and Biden, but we don't focus on the people around them and underneath them, right? We don't think about, like you said, Mitchell McConnell. Mitch McConnell is a very dangerous dude. He needs to go, and all of the people, the voters, how about especially with Trump, the MAGA people, and hell, even on Joe Biden's side, how this vote blue no matter who maniacal crowd, like they are just as bad as the MAGA crowd. And so we have to look at it in its total package. Like it's just Trump and Biden, but what about everybody else that co-signs everything that they do? And I agree with you as far as the information is out there. We at this point shouldn't be asking, well, who should I vote for? I mean, I got a voter's guide right here. They send them to everybody. Go through it, look through it and see, what looks good. Now I know a lot of the, the propositions and things like that are very ambiguous, and they're written that way to confuse the voter. So they'll trick you into, pretty much making a decision maybe you wouldn't ordinarily make, but at least get the information. But that's what I said too. I don't think a lot of people, many people should be able to vote. Now I know a lot of people get mad, but I think if you don't know who you're voting for, like I'm not talking about just the name, type of deal. But if you don't know who and what you're voting for, I don't think you should be able to go in there and press a button and make the check mark or whatever, because you mess up the rotation for everybody else being certain over nothing. Like you claim that you're informed, but you're actually misinformed because you educate yourself with memes and, videos and propaganda of people who are, meant to mislead you. Like anybody following somebody like Candace Owens, and yeah, you shouldn't be in there voting, or anybody who was listening to I hate to say it, I know. Well, Roland Martin is coming to the middle a little bit, starting to see the light, but people like D.L. Hewleys who are staunch Kamala, and Joe fans, and basically belittling people who don't want to vote for him. If you're listening to those people, you should not be able to vote, right? But, especially as Black people, we got to stop being lazy and letting everybody tell us what to think. We need to get the information for ourselves. And that's why myself, I can stand on 10 toes and say, I know why I'm holding my vote. It's not because somebody else told me. It's because I know that neither one of those white dudes going to the White House is going to give my Black ass anything that I need, right? They give everybody else stuff, but they continue to gloss over Black people, and we allow them to do that. We have a lot of these, dignitaries in our community and all that. They'll go and tell you need to vote for Joe. You need to vote for Trump. And then you say, well, if I do that, Mr. or Mrs. Dignitary, what am I going to get for my vote? Oh, it don't matter. We just got to get Trump out of office. Okay, so if I help get Trump out of office, am I going to get something for doing that like the Mexicans do? The women, the homosexual, am I going to get something like everybody else gets? Well, nah, right now it's just, Black people. We just need, no, then I'm not going to do that. And lastly, for you guys who are, well respected in your community, I want to say shame on you for especially telling the people who follow you to continue to go to the polls to get nothing. And especially shame on you if you continue to tell people our ancestors died for our right to vote. That is a lie from the pit of hell. They died for us to get something for that vote. So stop lying to people. Tell them the whole story and tell them our ancestors would be very upset that if they knew we continue to go to the polls every 4 years, every 2 years and get absolutely nothing. Their blood is on our hands too when we continue to get out of that booth and get nothing for but a damn sticker.
You're on fire. Well, I'm gonna make some people angry. I'm good at doing that. We the sheep. They can lead us anywhere they want to lead us. They can write anything in a book and we supposed to believe it. And that's what we do. I saw somebody mention Rosa Parks earlier. Now, you gonna think I'm Cedric in the barbershop. Rosa Parks ain't did shit. Let me get this straight for you. What about all them Rosas that sat on that bus before her? They just didn't have a college degree. They didn't look a certain way. There's a whole bunch of black people went to jail before her. Now, they can tell you, well, it's all about Rosa. The same way they gonna tell you, you just gotta get Trump out of office. Go do your damn homework. I know it was other people before Rosa because I did the research. Just like you can figure out that, like right now, voter suppression in the state of Texas. You want to give us one location to drop off all the early ballots in Harris County. Supposed to be 11 or 12, but you want to give us one. They took it to the Texas State Supreme Court. They upheld it. Well, hold on a second. Ain't the Texas State Supreme Court on the ballot? Have you done your homework? Do you know who Stacey Williams out of Dallas is? She'd be the first African-American female to sit on the Texas State Supreme Court. And contrary to popular opinion, she's all woman, but she got a set of balls. And she will go to war with them in the Texas State Supreme Court. So have you done your homework? Have you done your homework? See, and I didn't have to, you won't see me looking down, reading nothing. Because I've done the research. I've already done what I needed to do. You feel what I'm saying? I've already done it. You need to start reading. You got 3 weeks. If you don't want to vote early, I pity you on election day because it's going to be ridiculous. I feel bad for the people in Mississippi who don't even have early voting. They all got to vote on election day. You see what I'm saying? You got to put some people in office that can change some of these things. In the state of Mississippi, no early voting in Mississippi. That's voter suppression. You need to be on the phone with your people in every state. Every single state. I'm not going to argue with you, Tony. The one thing I am is I clearly know my history. Whatever you believe in, brother, that's what you believe in. But ain't no one goddamn person went to jail and they changed everything. So a whole bunch of Negroes went to jail in the civil rights movement. There's a whole bunch of Negroes ended up dead in the civil rights movement. Now watch this, Demetri. The reason we can't get nothing changed, because ain't none of you Negroes willing to go to jail, and ain't none of y'all willing to die for the cause. That's what the problem is right now. So you can blame this. You could go and talk that Trump shit all day long. But the bottom line, we control our own destinies. You see what I'm saying? We control our own destinies. There are a bunch of great people on the ballot. But you so focused on Trump, and that ballot is so damn long, you're going to miss a bunch of key races. And you're going to put a bunch of people back in office that don't need to be there. Demetri.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. We do miss all of the local and state elections, the judges, the sheriffs, the city council, the mayor, and, the Congress people. We forget about those, but those are the ones that really hit closer to home. I mean, the DA, a lot of times we can elect the DA, but what is their record like? Are they hard on black people? Are they seeking to lock people up instead of looking for justice? Because that is the true job of a prosecutor. The job of a prosecutor is not to lock people up, it's to seek justice. If that means freeing that person because they're not guilty, then great. But if it means bringing them to justice and making them serve jail time or whatever it is, that's what they're supposed to do. But you know, and we know Black people disproportionately go to jail and are victims to the injustice system. But yet we forget about those races. We forget about the very people, our people, and even ourselves in some cases might go in front of, and then it'll hit us like, well, wow, you mean to tell me I had an opportunity to vote this person out and I didn't? I was so focused on Trump and Biden to where I didn't even show, like they say the midterm elections have the lowest voter turnout because people just don't care. If it's not, the national with the presidential and all of that, people don't care. And then you have, dirt bags just in some cases just walking in and getting a job with no experience, or they've been on the job for a long time and they've been doing a horrible job, but we don't even focus on those type of things. So I agree with you. We need to educate ourselves and really look at the whole election process and not just get, because right now, especially, we're inundated with a bunch of ads and things. I saw Kanye West's ad and, it was pretty cool, I think, whatever. But we're inundated by a lot of ads to where we don't know what to think. And so it's going to take, if you're really concerned about the state of your neighborhood or the nation, just take a couple of hours or so and just look the stuff over. And so you'll have some idea. Some people go into the booth and they just say, okay, well, I'm going to do all Democrat, because that's what I do. My mom told me to go in there and just check all Democrat or check all Republican. But especially on the state and local election level, that might actually be doing you more harm. It should be a mixture of things because not all one party is going to do everything you like, I think.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. You notice tonight I ain't joking with it. I'm dead serious about it. So now I'm finna call a spade a spade. All you that be out there after the hurricane begging for help. All you on free housing and all that foolishness. Why you can't take your black ass to the voting poll? The ones that need the most help are the ones that ain't casting the damn votes. And the way I feel, and I've said it, I wish I'm talking to state reps. Say, man, we need to tie this voting thing to something, man. If you're on public assistance, you need to vote. I don't really care who you vote for, but you need to vote. I want you to think about this here. Every election, they can go count the numbers and they are astronomical. Whereas it pertains to African Americans who are registered but did not vote. They are registered, but they didn't even take the time. All we got to do in the state of Texas is look at the number of licensed drivers that we have. When you go in to do your license, you do your voter's registration card right there. Some of y'all have them and will not even try to use the process, but yet you continually complain. You're picking up the phone, you're calling me, you're calling other people. You see what I'm saying? When things don't go right. Well, the one thing that we need to change about us is we need to go into the damn booth. Get off of your butt. And I agree with you, Janelle. We don't want to vote, and we do not want to go to jury duty. But when your little son go up in there with that foolishness and they give him them 400 years, you feel like they've messed over. But see, we don't want to participate. The process is the process. But at the same time, Demetri, I think we feel a little entitled. I think as African Americans, a lot of us feel a little entitled. And we ain't gonna do nothing. So guess what your favorite black politician does? They use that to their advantage. When you don't want to go vote and you don't want to do that, that's why they pimp the senior citizens. Because the senior citizens are the ones that's gonna go in them boots. They're the ones that's gonna file them early ballots. You see what I'm saying? So don't expect nothing with your young good, how can I put it? Able-bodied ass that can work every day. So when they start changing these laws and they start getting rid of this public assistance and they start giving you major problems, it's all because you didn't get the right people where they needed to be. And it's all because you will not go in that voting booth and exercise your right to vote. Now I agree with Demetri. I want something for my vote. You can't trick me no more. See, but some of y'all out there, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you, D. You know what your biggest problem is? They spoon feeding you fat until you get old enough to eat shit. That's exactly what they doing to you. And a whole bunch of y'all every day eat a big bowl of shit because you don't want to change the process.
And I would say too, so I see a lot of people saying, you know, get out and vote. You know, it's a very serious election. Get out and vote. How about telling people to get out and get something for your vote? You know, Joe Biden says on day one that he is going to make a pathway to citizenship for people who are illegally here. He didn't say he was going to do anything for your black ass on day one. He said for people who aren't legally here. So, I mean, it's like, tell people the other part of the conversation. Go out and get something for your vote. Stop telling people to just get out there and vote. What are they getting out there and voting for? Like, to me, it's a waste of gas money. It's all symbolism. I'm starting to see the I voted stickers, you know, pop up. But I want to know, other than that sticker, what did you get for your vote, especially as Black people here in America? What did you get for your vote? And I agree with you, Gary. There's a lot of people who are on public assistance and all of that. They won't bother, not all, but a lot of them won't bother to vote. I remember a couple years back when something happened with the food stamp program. You know, people were up in arms. Oh my God, they snatching our food stamps, snatching our food stamps off of our card. It was actually just a snafu. But then there was another time where I can't remember where it was. There's a few of them. Congress people were talking about limiting what people on food stamps could buy. So they were saying they couldn't buy junk food or soda and things like that. To me, I don't think we should be policing people's food choices. But if you get out there and vote and you are knowledgeable about who are making these decisions, perhaps you can vote those people out. Vote people out who think that you shouldn't be able to feed your, even if it's garbage. That's your right to do that. But you should at least know that. Like, show up to the polls and say, okay, I don't like that person. I'm on public assistance for whatever reason, and I don't think they should dictate to me what I should be able to eat. And as far as jury duty, absolutely. Like, we need to, I hate jury duty. I hate it with a passion, but I show up because I know more than likely it's one of our people that's going to sit on trial and they might not be guilty. And we all know probably a handful of people who went to trial and got a raw deal. They caught a bad one because they had a jury of people who were not their peers. And they, you know, they preconceived them from the gate before they even heard any information and already knew they were guilty. My mom's friend was sent up the river for 11 years for a rape that he did not commit. The lady wouldn't show up. That the complaining witness, she didn't show up. And, you know, and they heard that jurors were saying, well, he's already guilty. I believe he's guilty. He caught a case that he wasn't his to catch, but he didn't have people that looked like him sitting in the jury box. He had Asians and white people sitting in there who already had their minds made up. And so we need to start showing up to jury duty. Stop making excuses of why you don't want to go, because you never know when it's your loved one or you sitting up there staring at a bunch of people who don't look like you, and already in their mind, they're like, I can't wait. Especially when they get the case, hell, they trying to go home. They trying to go to lunch. You another Black person, hell, they did it. They get everybody say they guilty. Yeah, they guilty. Okay, let's go home. You want somebody in there to fight for your freedom that looks like you. So show up to jury duty.
I'm gonna go presidential, and I would ask anybody why, because I ain't voted yet. I'm most likely I'm gonna vote tomorrow. What's the top 3 reasons I should vote for Joe Biden? And the one is that you can't use, we just want Trump out of there. What's the top 3 reasons I should vote for Joe? Give it to me right now and I'll push that button. Tell me why I should vote for this man. Because every time I think of my partners doing 40 years for 3 rocks, it kind of mess with me. Why should I vote for this dude, man? Why should I vote for him and Kamala who let people down death row. I don't want to hear about Trump. Tell me why I need to vote for Biden. You can look in my eye and say, yeah, I know his back been hurting for a couple of days. Man, it's on my mind now, dog. It's on my mind and my heart now, man. Tell me why I need to vote for this man.
I got one for you because I hear this one. Oh, well, you know, Joe Biden, he needs to be able to pick the next Supreme Court justice. But what are they doing as today as we speak in this week? They're going through the confirmation process of one that Trump picked. But he admonished Joe Biden during the debate and said, well, you guys left the seats open. Everybody knows when you're president, sitting president, you're supposed to fill those seats. You guys didn't fill those seats. And so we're going to fill those seats. But also, I can combat that argument. Joe Biden, well, you know, we'll leave it to Obama. He had an opportunity to put a black woman, because people say, oh, we need a black woman on the Supreme Court. He had an opportunity to do that. He being Obama, he picked a white woman and a Puerto Rican woman. He didn't pick a black woman. So, I mean.
I get it. I get it. I mean, I asked the question. And I'm getting every comment except for that answer. Stop that bullshit, man. I got to go in that voting booth tomorrow, and I need y'all help. Tell me why I should vote for this man. I don't want to know I'm wrong, Kendrick. I've been knowing you since we were 14, 15 years old. We played on the same football team together, won a state championship together. I don't want to know if I'm wrong. I want to know why I should vote for this man. And ain't nobody telling me nothing. I took your only excuse away. We got to get rid of Trump. Tell me what the fuck this dude gonna do for me. Because fuck the Supreme Court justices on my level. I'm telling you the real how I feel in the hood. I probably never even get to the Supreme Court on a case. So I don't even give a damn. I want to know why I should vote for this man. What, cat got y'all motherfucking tongue tonight? What's wrong? Cat got their tongue, Demetri. Well, let me say it in Espanol for you. Why should I el voto for fucking ass Joe O? Cat got your tongue? You don't even know why you should vote for him. But you can give me 40,000 reasons why you should vote for Trump. But you can't give me one that tells me why I should vote for Biden. Okay, let me try it a different way, Demetri. Maybe you can help me. You seem like the smart one on here. Why should I support Kamala? Oh, before you start, let's take the sorrow shit out the building for her. Talk to me. Ain't nobody else, man. I got some intelligent people on here, man. You know what's sad, bro? Joe Biden and Donald Trump are both racist. Trump is an open one. Biden is a closet one. Do whatever the hell you need to do. You had the opportunity to make me vote for Joe Biden, and your black ass could not even come up with a decent reason why I should. So don't ask me ever again who I'm voting for on that level. I am going green.
Where'd it go? Kendrick, I think it was. Kendrick Owens. So I don't want to assume, but are you voting for Joe Biden? Because if you are, that whole, well, what are you going to do for yourself argument typically comes from the vote blue no matter who crowd. And they say that because they don't have a reason why you should vote. And they also say that in opposition to you saying, well, I want something for my vote. Well, you know what? You need to do something for yourself. You need to pull yourself up by the book. That's that whole argument right there. You know, especially when Obama was in office. Well, he's not the president of just black people. He's the president of everybody. But he did something for everybody but black people. And so, I mean, like I'm looking, and Gary, I don't know, do you see any comments at all that are answering the question as to why, other than getting rid of Trump, we should vote for Joe Biden? Do you see that?
No, because the truth of the matter is, they gonna vote for whoever them sorry ass Democrats tell them to vote for. So let me try this a different way. Would I vote for Ann Bennett or Chris Daniels in Harris County? I'd vote for Chris because I know some dirt on Ann. I'm not putting nobody in office. I'm not gonna do it. You see what I'm saying? So, I can go from race to race with you on mine. I mean, when it comes to Sheila Jackson Lee, Wendell Champion, I ain't doing the braid no more. So will you vote for a Republican? State Senator Boris Miles got my support. You're a hard-working dude. State Representative Ron Reynolds got my support. Bridget Smith Lawson for County Attorney Fort Bend got my support. See, say, man, if you're going to be out here and you're going to be running your mouth, you see what I'm saying? Whether they crooks or not, Tony G, somebody got to do something with them. So my thing is, Tony, I got love for you. When the hell you running for office? I've already done it, so don't come at me. When are you going to run for office? You got all the answers tonight. But you can't answer that question. Even you, as intelligent as you are, you couldn't even give me one answer as to why I should vote for that man. And you know what, bro? And it's because of Demetri them. When you keep coming like that, she saves a lot of y'all. That's what gets y'all blocked in my world. Look, the one thing I know, I ain't got no paper on the wall, and I'm highly intelligent. Some of y'all got 5 degrees and dumb as a bag of rocks.
So Al says one reason is people will tell you to vote for Joe Biden because God told them to tell you. So God told me to tell you to vote for Joe Biden. And then Anthony says, I'd rather have the devil we know than the devil we don't know. Well, see, that's the problem. You think you know the real devil. And I'm assuming you're saying that Trump is a devil and he is a devil. I would never vote for Trump. He's a devil. But if you really did your research, you would also know that Joe Biden is really a devil. And in a lot of cases, he's a bigger devil than Trump is. Because Joe Biden has been in office 47 years and have had a long time, especially out of his own mouth, said since 1976, he is the author of every major and minor crime bill. A lot of those crime bills, probably most of those crime bills that he wrote, harmed Black people with all those mandatory minimums and, making a difference between crack and cocaine and, the 3 strikes law with Bill Clinton in 1994. And so are you sure you're voting for the right devil or voting against the right devil?
I'm going to read Will Jack's comment. If we keep saying that some people are going to stay home, then we get Trump again. Please come up with a better way to have an argument, 5. I ain't saying over and over that people going to stay home. These Negroes stay home every election. Every single election. I don't give a damn if Beyonce was running. They ain't coming. And about 10 of everybody on here know 10 of them that don't go to polls. So don't be mad at us for speaking the truth. It's the truth. And the thing is, that's our problem. We don't want to hear the truth. What, we gonna blame it on Black people if Trump wins? You have a voting base. And one of the biggest problems with Biden and Harris's voting base is Black men. We've been left behind. They don't even know how to hold a conversation with us. They don't know how to talk to us. So if they lose the election, it's going to be because Black men didn't vote for them. Well, guess what? If you don't know how to talk to me, fuck you. I don't owe Joe Biden shit. Joe Biden ain't never paid a bill for me. I'm just being honest with you, man. Whoever loses the election, they just lose. Now, the thing I want to talk about is I keep seeing it pop up, Demetri. Oh, if Trump loses, it's going to be a civil war. Man, don't get your hat peeled back, partner. All that, what you gonna do? Strong arm people in the voting for Trump? And if Trump lose, it's gonna be a civil war. Don't start no shit, won't be none. I'm just being straight up with y'all. All this talking that and all that, man, I'm just telling you. Think about what you're saying before you say it. You better stay your scary ass back there in them woods and go shoot at the motherfucking pigeons or whatever you be shooting at. Because if you come up out them woods, you're going to have some problems. Dollar bill style going to be trouble.
I mean, if people talking about a civil war, hell, you already in a civil war. You just don't know it. I mean, I don't know how true it is a civil war will jump off if Trump is not reelected. I mean, but, we are in the midst of that every day. Anytime a black person is mowed down in the middle of the street in cold blood by police officers. And, like I said, in Orlando yesterday, they found a black man hung. They first tried to say that it was suicide, but they forgot to disclose that his hands was tied behind his back, his teeth were knocked out, and his face was beaten. So that doesn't sound like a suicide. So you already in the middle of one, but what you gonna do to get out of it? I mean, it's inevitable that something like that may happen, but are we ready? Are we ready as black people to even sustain a civil war? I don't think so. I don't think we're ready for that because we're too distracted by things that really don't affect us at all. And as far as somebody talking about, getting something, black people not voting and all of that, maybe we would go out to the polls in larger numbers if we were getting something for it. Everybody else has a reason to go, whether it's immigration stuff, whether it's women's rights or, gay rights, they got a reason to go. But why are we going to go? What is it for us? Like black people have been oppressed since we've been over here. Not much has changed, even in 2020. So why should we continue to do that? Why, Malcolm X called us a political chump, a political football. We're now taking a step further. Dr. Umar Johnson called us political prostitutes. Like we just get used by everybody and we don't even have nothing to show for it. Like when are we going to start saying, okay, I'll show up when you give me something to do that? I don't understand why that's so hard to understand.
Well, Angela Thompson, nightly viewer, we need to be encouraging people to vote. Trump don't know how to talk to you either, but lie. Okay, and then she comes back and she says, vote Trump out. I don't care if a dog is running. Well, I actually give a damn if a dog is running. I also know that Joe Biden lies too. So my thing is, I am encouraging people to vote. The difference between me and you, I'm not telling them who to vote for. They vote for whoever they want. And I think that angers you more than anything, that we're not using this platform to try to sway people to vote for people either way. All we do is tell the truth about everybody. But I ain't gonna tell you need to vote for Biden. For real. Yeah, well, I tell you what, vote for Biden. And then, what we're gonna do down the ballot, because, the hood look fucked up right now. My schools are failing. There's violence every goddamn way. So let Trump ain't got nothing to do with that. So let's go down the ballot. Now, what we gonna do down the ballot? We gonna take care of the hood? Or we gonna keep voting for the same people? See, it's frustrating to me because I ride through and I see my neighborhoods becoming legal dump sites. I don't see grocery stores in my neighborhood, man. I see the violence firsthand, man. You used to step out the house clean as a whistle, man, because you know that old girl was going to walk down the street and you had to look good. Now you step out the house, you got to have that pistol in your hand. Mm. But what we going to do about that? What we going to do about that, man? See, y'all worried about that. I'm down that ballot, man. I need the right justices in the civil courthouses. Because my brother's dealing with their child support, man. My brother's getting got. In Texas, they get behind. They ain't have no money for the COVID. They don't care. They're giving you 180 days. How you gonna get that man 180 days when he couldn't go to court? When he had no money to pay? Are you looking down that ballot, man? Because all you worried about is one race. And that's where you're going to screw up your cities, your towns, your states, because you didn't take care of your business in every single race. But you're mad at me because I'm down the ballot and not really giving a damn about the one at the top. Because you know what? The one at the top could never affect me on a daily. You and for all you Houstonians, and I'm gonna pick on him, and Mr. Mayor, I'm not saying this in a bad way. I'm gonna just speak the truth, Negro. Y'all worried about Trump. I'm worried about Sylvester Turner and all that slickery going down in City Hall. You better wake up, man.
Yep. And, you know, Angela's a big time, I guess, Joe Biden supporter. You know, she is adamant about getting Trump out. And I guess a lot of people are for good reason. But again, you continuously stay mad at Trump, but are you mad at your local representation? I mean, I don't know where you live, but a lot of Black people live in neighborhoods that aren't so good, and they stay mad at Trump, but they're not mad at the person that allows the dilapidation of their neighborhoods to continue. They're not mad at those people at all. No, you go to the polls faithfully every 2 to 4 years and put those people in, but you're mad at Trump. Trump has been in office less than 4 years, and he is not the reason. And again, I'm not a spokesperson for Trump. I'm not voting for Trump, but he's been in office less than 4 years, and somehow you find all the gall to be completely mad at him, opposed to being mad at someone you've been voting for the last 20 to 30 years. Like, how does that even make sense? You're just mad, really? I mean, you're mad at Trump for good reasons. He's a douchebag. You know, he's done a lot of things, especially since the pandemic has taken place, to mislead people. But you mad at him, but you're not mad at your congressperson that continues to lie to you. And hell, most of the, especially our Black representatives, they don't even lie to us anymore. They just like, I know they're going to vote for me because I'm the name they know, you know, and I'm familiar, but I don't even have to lie and say I'm going to do anything for them. But don't be mad at Trump and not mad at your congressperson or your city council who continues to put weed shops, pawn shops, checking the cash, 99-cent stores, and let everybody else open up in your neighborhood but you. Be mad at those people that continue to do those things to you.
I'm going to say this here. Y'all don't watch them. You don't see how they move. None of that. Like today in Houston, the mayor, Sheila Jackson Lee, a whole bunch of them, they were down in 3rd Ward dedicating this mural to George Floyd. Take your Black ass in your office and change some laws. That'll help George Floyd. I don't give a damn about no more murals, man. Go in there and change some legislation. Change some goddamn laws. The murals ain't gonna stop them cops from putting their knees on our necks, man. It ain't stopped them since it happened. See, that's what I demand. But y'all ain't demanding it. You know why? Because you get caught up in the moment. Oh man, this is so beautiful. You know what? A cat like George Floyd will tell you, man, go change them goddamn laws. But y'all don't require these people to do their jobs. And then you get mad at the Aubrey Taylors, or the Damian Joneses and the Demetrias and the Monroes, because we call it out. We call it out. When are you going to require them to do their damn job? We had Elvante Patton on here last week, right? Elvante ran for state representative against Al Allen. Elvante would have been a great choice. But what y'all do? Y'all went with the name. Now tell me what goddamn laws what legislation this woman passed. And she been in there, what, since the Flintstone era? What legislation has she passed? But you don't want the ones that's gonna go in there and do it. See, you want us to stay on the ground and just be the field Negro and stay out here just fighting the battles every day against a corrupt system that unless we get somebody in there to change those laws, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. So if you, Angela, you want to change something, vote. Okay, so here it is, Angela. You've been sitting here. You're a big Joe Biden fan. How the fuck you ain't answered my question yet? Give me a reason why I should vote for this man, and I don't want to hear that Trump is racist. Give me a reason. Because right now I feel slighted, and I think Demetra does too. Because on his first day in office, you're going to take care of DACA. The hell with the Negroes. You're going to take care of the LGBTQ community. The hell with the Negroes. Immigration. The hell with the Negroes. So give me a reason why I should vote for him. If not, you will be watching this next show from Demetra's page, not mine. Don't debate me. Don't come for me in any way, shape, form, or fashion during this political season. Because if you ain't gonna be knowledgeable after all these months of sitting here watching us do this here through sickness, readjusting our schedules, making sure that you had all the information, you don't deserve to watch.
And I'll also say to Angela, she says, you want to change something, vote. Now, how about if you want to change something, vote for something that's actually going to make change. Don't just be out there voting just because. Make sure you're voting for the right things. Let's see here. Let me go down here. Oops. Niall Copeland, he says vote for judges that will follow the law. So to his point, vote for things and people that are actually going to make change. If you continuously vote for people like your Congress people, your city councils, and they are not making change, the vote has nothing to do with it. It's you. You continue to vote for things that aren't making change. The vote alone does not make change. You have to actually go and vote for things that are going to usher in the change, right? But we got to get out of the habit of just saying, we just got to go vote. Just go vote. Just go vote. No, what are we voting for? And that's been at least 20 minutes ago that Gary has asked, what is voting for Joe Biden going to do other than get rid of Trump? Or did somebody make an answer? Oh, go ahead.
Angela came back with a response. Vote for somebody that's going to do it, but they got to get in the seat first. I totally agree. But you still didn't answer my question. What the fuck is he going to do for me? That's the only way I can give it to you, baby. You can't answer that because he has never said what he would do for us. Just tell the truth to yourself. If you want to vote for Trump, go in there and push that button. But don't sit on this program and act like you are that informed to where you cannot answer that simple question. Why should I vote for him? Oh, so now you're not a Biden fan, but Trump got to get out. I'm through talking to you. Oh, my goodness. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you, baby. Meet me at the club. I got $40. Meet me at the club.
Just stop it. And Damon, he says, Biden already said he's not changing anything. He did. He said, I'm going to keep the status quo. He says, the status quo means the same old, why change anything? I don't think really anything is broken. So, why would you want to vote for that? And if, he's going by his status quo, well, judges 47 years of service, and then ask yourself, do I want that to be in the White House, the status quo? I wouldn't. Sometimes you just actually got to listen to what the horse is telling you. They say out of the horse's mouth, sometimes you actually got to listen to what the horse is telling you.
Well, I'm gonna keep running with Angela. She keep responding. Never was a Biden fan, but you dick riding.
Oh.
You all up on this tool, man. But you cannot answer that question. I'm just telling Demetra, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. And I agree with some of y'all that a lot of these people are corrupt. But everybody that runs for public office is not corrupt. Now, the guy that I liked for president didn't make it. Well, who did you actually like, Monroe, when everybody was running? Andrew Yang. I liked Yang.
Me too.
I actually I think if Yang was the president and all this pandemic was going on, you'd be getting far more than $1,200. Because $1,200 is a joke, man.
Yeah, and Strife, how you doing, Strife Legend? He says, "Who's after the Federal Reserve? Who's bringing up the facts like what Yang was saying about certain drugs being legalized after pushed on Black communities or in Black communities?" MLK's UBI, know who you're voting for. So yes, universal basic income. That's what Yang was going for as well. He was wanting to give Americans 18 and over $1,000 to $2,000 a month to actually, get ahead or make a savings and really, do things for yourself. He was also talking about things like democracy dollars that would get rid of the lobbying in Washington, that every American would get a certain amount of democracy dollars and they could put that money toward whatever campaign or candidate they like. And that way, like I said, it would get rid of the negative influence of lobbyists. And so here we are in the middle of a pandemic that is not going anywhere. In fact, in a lot of states, I think they said 39 states, if I'm not mistaken, the COVID is actually on the rise. A lot of states are seeing record numbers, actually. So we know this is not going away. But right now, Congress is arguing over giving the American people just a sigh of relief. But the universal basic income would actually help people. Other countries are doing it right now. Other countries are actually doing that for their people so they can stay afloat, not look at something like foreclosures and evictions and, basically putting food on the table. But I'm with you, Gary. I like Yang. He wasn't a perfect candidate. He wasn't exactly talking about reparations. But the one thing that Yang was, he was knowledgeable of the plight of Black people. He says, Black people, you guys are going to be out of money in 12 years due to AI. Specifically because AI is going to take over the jobs that you as Black people predominantly work in, the service industry. Most warehouses, hell, I worked in a warehouse in 1995, and it was all done manual labor. But by the time I left in 2008, they started to bring in machines. So what I understand is like a lot more machines in there now. So those jobs are going away. And what he said about 12 years to our money running out, he didn't even know, I don't think he knew, the pandemic was going to be a factor. So it's probably less than the 12 years now.
I'm going to say this here, man, that, my girl, she's steady riding. Trump got to go. So here's the biggest question. It's the elephant in the room. And I think you need to call Walter when we get off the air and tell him we want to create a rideshare program, but make it boats. We want to create some boats. So if Trump fucks around and win, what y'all gonna do? I want a rideshare program. Tell Walter we're gonna invent this. Because we're gonna give all y'all niggas rides back to Africa. And I promise you, when you get there, they're gonna tell y'all turn around. Some of y'all don't want y'all. So what are you gonna do if Trump wins? I'm like Ira Sanders. I gotta get up the next day and keep living. I got to get up the next day and still go get it. So what are you going to do if the man actually wins? Are you going to commit suicide? Are you going to grab your toy and vibrate yourself to death? What are you going to do? Because just like y'all said last time, he didn't have a shot in hell of winning. And I kept telling people I wasn't supporting him, but as long as he was in that race, he had a chance. So what y'all gonna do now if he wins? He lamed up, and let me tell you what's gonna happen, Demetrius. Trump is a vindictive son of a. He ain't gonna forget what y'all put him through. He ain't gonna forget how y'all turned y'all back on him. And guess what? The next 4 years in office, you gonna definitely want to commit suicide. Because he gonna give it to you, bro. Now, I've said this before, Demetrius. When Obama won twice, I say once they get him out, they gonna make you feel it for the next 4 years. And they making you feel it now. So if Trump wins, he's gonna be very vindictive. I hope you guys can survive that.
Yeah, and Janelle, he said some automation, but those machines need to be designed and maintained. And so that's actually what Yang was talking about, actually redirecting what people are doing and giving some training and things like that. But, he also spoke to the universal basic income being very important because it says the truck driving industry is about 98% ready to go automated, right? So that means it doesn't need a driver. And he says, let's be real. Most truck drivers aren't trying to go back to school to learn a new trade or learn how to fix machines and things like that. So people are going to need that money, and they're going to also need maybe some vocational schooling and free colleges and things like that. Let's see here. Oh gosh, Strife. You said that you're a Yang Gang. You can actually check out my YouTube channel at Demetra K. I was a big time Yang Gang as well, and I talked extensively about Andrew Yang. And as far as I know, unless he's recently changed his mind, he wasn't for reparation outright, but a lot of the things that he was talking about was actually geared toward helping Black people. Like I said, he might have changed his mind in the last couple of months or so, but originally he wasn't talking about reparation. As far as the stimulus check, I saw somebody bring up the stimulus check. And I know a lot of times people make jokes about the stimulus check. Oh, you're mad about your stimulus check, this, that, and the other. What people don't realize is there's a lot of people who really need that stimulus check, and them getting that stimulus check, there should be no shame attached to that. There was a lot of people that was no fault of their own that they even need the stimulus check. I live in Southern California. $1,200 will go just like that. $1,200 won't even pay my rent at all. $1,200 won't pay my rent. So, and that's true for a lot of people out here in Southern California. So we need to.
Well, I know a lot of them, mama, that $1,200 sit good with them because they ain't paying but $12 in rent. I'm just being straight up. That's why they tripping. You know, I represent the hood on the show in case y'all ain't know. I lurk in the hood, man. So, you know, at the end of the day, Trump need to get out. Don't be scared to vote him out, is what Angela said. And don't be scared to keep him. If you keep him, that means you got to get off your ass and go get it every day. That means you can't make excuses. Can't take all them vacation days no more, huh? That's what it is. But you might have to wake up and start your own business. Like my homegirl, she do good. She doing great. Selling them turkey necks. They made us some turkey necks. My partner Dion, he's selling banana pudding, making a killing off of it. You know what I'm saying? My man Terrence Wolford on here worked for the city of Houston, but started his own lawn service. And of course, my man Skip Flanagan, that wrote the book, man. I had no choice but to get rich. Because he went to jail under them bad laws. So when he got out, he couldn't get an apartment. He couldn't get a job. Everybody looking at him funny. So he had no choice but to get rich. But he did it the right way. And now he's filthy rich. So sometimes you have a blessing in disguise. I need somebody to push me every day. I need something that wakes me up every single morning and makes me want to grind. I don't look at Trump. I've had that in me since I was 14 years old. But some of y'all need a kickstart. Because having your kids play crazy, putting square pegs in round holes ain't getting the rent paid no more.
And somebody said that Trump can keep his $1,200. That ain't Trump's $1,200. That's our $1,200. That $1,200 is owed and then some. There's a lot of countries, they're giving their people $1,200 to $2,000 a month. They're getting that a month so they can try to get rid of this thing. So that's not Trump's money. Regardless of what he might say, you ain't giving us our money back. There's people who are entitled to that money, and there's people who are making six-figure jobs. And as I said, that 6 months, people say, oh, you need to have at least 6 months of cushion or savings. It is now 6 months. And a lot of people's savings is completely gone. And so that $1,200 is actually an insult. But I don't care if it's $12, it ain't coming from Trump. That's our money. And we deserve that money and then some. Like, we need to stop being silly and stop trying to attach a stigma and shame on getting that $1,200. Right now, that $1,200 will feed somebody's family, will help them keep their car, might put a roof over their head for just a little bit. So we need to stop playing so goddamn much and stop thinking that, the $1,200, if you need the $1,200, something wrong with you. Nah, I take $1,200 every day, unapologetically.
They took that $1,200. They ran with it. You thought you was winning on something. But I mean, at the same time, anything they giving you ain't free. It's not free. It comes with too many stipulations and this and that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if you got it, you got it. Bless you, my brothers and sisters. God bless you. But for those at the end of the day that got to get up every morning and run their businesses, I feel bad for a lot of these small companies that are closing down. They spent their whole lives trying to build their companies, man. They spent their whole lives trying to build their companies. And a lot of these people are losing their businesses. You see what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, you say Trump killed 200,000. Maybe I might say this wrong, Demetri. If this economy does not open back up, it's going to be a bunch of people committing suicides, and it's going to be about 200,000 businesses that close down. Bottom line is that this country cannot survive in the manner that it's in right now. Not financially, we can't. So when y'all be capping about, I'm going to Dubai. What it feel like to live in supposedly the greatest country in the world, and you got to go visit another country to see some shit you ain't even got here? What it feel like when you go to Paris and that shit look way better than this over here? You know why? Them people put the time, the resources, the money into their countries. All we doing is taking from our country. We steal from everybody else, but yet we still take from our country. Black people, one day you will be important in this country, but right now you're not.
And also, Damon, he says, if Pharaoh wouldn't have turned up the heat on the slaves, they never would have left him and entered the promised land. Now, I 100% agree with you. And you're speaking in regards to, I believe you are, the Trump administration. And Farrakhan said the same thing. We might, as Black people, need a Trump presidency to wake us up, because we have been too comfortable and too complacent with what we are doing here in the United States. You know, we might need to get up off it a little bit. Not might, but we do need to get up off of it and go do for ourselves. And Jonelle says we got to stop being slave-minded and so dependent on our colonizers. And the Trump presidency is actually forcing a lot of us awake, like, damn, you know, this comfort zone that we've been in may not be that for long. So we're going to have to get up off it and start our own businesses. There's a lot of people who have jobs right now. You don't know how long you're going to have that job. What if that job goes away? What are you going to do to feed yourself? As you see, the unemployment benefits, they ran out in a lot of places. They just cut, the 600 benefit thing off. But what are you going to do to feed yourself? Do you have any talents, any skills? Do you know how to do something? Like you said, you got a friend that's selling turkey necks. Tell people going to eat. If they're not going to do nothing else, they going to eat. So that's a skill. They turn it in, flipping turkey necks. Some people laugh at that, but some people going to the bank with some turkey neck money.
Well, Angela say that's why Trump got to go. Get him out. He's doing nothing for us. So let's see what Biden gonna do. Well, I tell you what, Trump is that 79 Chevy. So you telling me to trade my 79 Chevy in for this car over here, and I don't know what the hell it's gonna do. But ain't nothing wrong with the 79 Chevy. I know how that motherfucker run. I know everything bad about it, everything good about it. So I just need to take a chance on Biden is what you're telling. Because if we look at 4 years of policy, and what a president would do, I'm looking at 4 years of Donald Trump. I'm looking at 40 years of inconsistency, 47 years of inconsistency as it pertains to Joe Biden with African Americans. 47 years of being misquoted. 47 years of having to apologize for things that he should have never said. 47 years. And now you come up with every excuse in the world as to why I should mess with somebody who's been basically looking at me for 47 years, telling me, nigga, stay in your place. For 47 years, you've been telling me that your kids would be better off without my kids in the same school with them. I need to overlook that. You need to tell me for 47 years, you signed all them crime bills, and all them brothers went to jail, all them sisters went to jail, and I got to forgive that right now. 47 years of this. But you can't give me one good reason why I should forgive this man, why I should turn the other cheek. Because I will not do what Malcolm said. I am not going against it. Ain't they the lesser of two evils? They're both evil. And I'm not voting for evil. You want me to forgive him? And you saying what Trump has done to black people, but you won't acknowledge what that prison system has done to my black brothers and sisters since this man was on the crime bills. I don't know how to say this no other way, Demetri. This is a very passionate subject to me. Fuck Joe Biden and everything that come with him for every brother that's locked up. So if all you got is 5 kids from New York that was in the wrong place at the wrong time in Central Park, I'm going to give you that. But I know 5 motherfuckers right now that's downtown that shouldn't be there. Let's talk about the hundreds of thousands of brothers, millions of brothers that this man crime laws to throw away. And you want me to forgive him? I'm going to say what you can't because you work for whoever. You go to somebody's church and your pastor is watching. Fuck Joe Biden and a fight come with him.
Woo! No, I concur. I mean, to your point about the Central Park 5, yes, Trump is a real douchebag for the Central Park 5, but why doesn't anybody ever bring up the prosecutors who are big-time Democrats? In fact, Linda Feinstein, she's a big-time Democratic donor. She donated to the campaign of Amy Klobuchar, who was another one that was tough on black people when she was a prosecutor. So, I mean, you can't hold Trump accountable without holding the prosecutor accountable. She was a Democrat, so we got to tell the whole story. They're all horrible people, is what I'm saying. But you want to try to bring up that of the Central Park 5 to that of a record of Joe Biden for 47 years to where he said himself, I am the author of every major and minor crime bill. Crime bills mean tough on black people. Nelly, I mean, he said a whole lot of stuff, He's called black people thugs, and I can't have them run around hit my mom over the head, and attacking mine. So he's telling us who he is. Now, at the end of the day, you make your own decision who you're going to vote for, but stop telling people that they need to get Trump out of office without telling the other side of the story of who you're actually going to be putting in office, along with his partner in crime, Kamala, who's also a big time tough on crime person. That she said that California. I think so. Washington has and will adopt what she did in California. Do we really want that?
Let me tell you something, man. My man said I really need to stop. So if I'm going to forgive Biden, then I should forgive Trump. If I'm going to forgive Biden and Trump, I should forgive Strom Thurmond. I should forgive the governor, George Wallace, that stood in the door of elementary schools and would not allow black children to come into those schools. I should forgive the officers that arrested Rosa Parks. I should forgive my man for shooting King in his head. I need to start forgiving a whole bunch of races. But you will never forgive them. And you know why? Because they didn't run for president. And Donald Trump was the president that you needed out. If you will sit here as a black person and overlook blatant racism, you step on the graves of black people that literally gave their life for you to have a damn voice. Where was Joe at during the civil rights movement? Was he marching with our brothers and sisters? What was he doing? You literally shit on these people, man. And do you get mad at black people because they don't want to support either one of the oppressors? I don't give a damn if you got your bed wench running with you. I don't care. I'm not impressed. So if we gonna give passes, look, I tell you what, if y'all cool with it, man, if you ain't got no problem with me giving a straight up KKK Graham Wizard a pass, I can give David Duke a pass if y'all cool with that. And I go vote for Biden. Got a problem with that? Do you have a problem with it? I thought so. Final thoughts, Ms. Demetra.
Yeah, I mean, my final thoughts are, really just stop telling people to go vote. Just go vote. Don't tell them to go vote for something. Go vote for something. And if there's nothing in there for you to vote for, then maybe you need to hold your vote. But as I said, I guarantee you, Black people held our vote this time. The next election cycle come along, they're going to be like, what do you Negroes want? What can we go get for you? And they're going to start to do not the whole, well, we're going to study and we're going to think about it. And we're going to know what can we do for you right now? Because as we know, the Democrats need Black people. For now, they do. They need Black people to help them get to where they are. And as Gary said before, they are now realizing that they have neglected Black men. So now they want to bring Black men into the conversation. I mean, hell, with 22 days until election, now you want to start talking to Black men? That's not how it works. But, get something for the vote. And if there's nothing to get, then, I'm not going to continue to waste my time. And lastly, I will say this. You go into the store, you want a pair of red shoes, they don't have the red shoes. You're not going to have somebody sell you a blue pair of shoes, are you? You're going to say, well, when you get a red pair of shoes, I will come back and give you my money. That's the same way a vote works. Until you get my red shoes, I'm going to keep my money. And let me know when you got the red shoes, and I'll come back up in there and I'll pay for them. Same thing with voting.
I'm going to leave you with this here. Angela said they are all horrible. We cannot do nothing about that. I believe in God, and he said forgive. The people who died gave us the right to vote. You believe in God, and he said forgive. So can you go public and say you're going to forgive R. Kelly? Can you do that? Or I guess he's not the right pigmentation. Y'all need to vote like your life depended on it. Regardless of who you vote for, always remember, ain't nobody died to give us the right to vote. They died to make sure we got something for our vote. Because even though we were casting them votes in the 60s, we wasn't getting nothing. They wanted to make sure that we got something for our votes. And if you don't want nothing for your vote, then that's your business. But don't look down on the people that actually do want something for their vote. Because a lot of us have been living this fucking fairy tale with these Democrats ever since we came out our mama's wombs. Some of us are tired living this thing. Last night, can I ask you a question, Demetra? Did you have a dream?
Did I have a dream?
Did you dream about anything last night?
I'm sure I did, yeah.
Dr. King had a dream. And it's been 60 years and we still in the middle of that damn nightmare that he was trying to turn into a dream. Something ain't working. Something ain't right about this. And it ain't all them white folk that's doing it to us. Your enemy is not a stranger. Your enemy is your friend. Your political friend. Say, man, I want to thank my good friend for tuning in tomorrow night. We can rock at the same time if you want. We can rock at the same time and do our thing. But tomorrow it crank up in Texas. I'm gonna be out at the polls. I'm gonna be out. I'm antagonizing these. Don't come around them polls if you ain't did nothing for that hood. Because I'm gonna clown you live on Facebook. My good friend Demetra K was in the building. Donovan be off flying planes now. See, when you got the kind of money Donovan got, and you ain't worrying about a stimulus, Trump or Biden, you do whatever the hell you want to do. I'm the 5-star general until tomorrow night. Oh, by the way, gonna force you to look at these elections. You remember earlier I told you about Judge Stacey Williams running for Texas State Supreme Court. She'll be sitting here live tomorrow night on the War Zone. Since you love black women in politics, let's take one of the strongest black women in the state of Texas and put her exactly where she needs to go. Y'all ready? Till tomorrow night, man. We'll holler at you.